Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Vision boards are something that I have found to be really, really amazing tool. Um, Give me one moment. I have three people that are hopping on right now, letting them in. All right. So, as I was saying, vision boards, I absolutely love them. I think it's something I always wanted to do when I was young, but didn't really know what it was, a vision board. And then um, when I was in my PhD program, one of my cohort students, she had this binder and it had a bunch of pictures and everything around it. And I'm like, oh, what is that? And she's like, oh, this is, I don't even remember what she called it, but it was like, I guess like her vision board binder, but it was like everything. It was huge. And I think that's what really sparked, and that was in 2016, what really made me think like, well, why am I not doing something like that? This person I admired, she had really successful. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do that, right? But I didn't ask her anything about it. I didn't ask her like, how do you do this? And so I made my own, and it kind of worked out and it kind of didn't. And I'll go into that later. But here's a little bit more about myself for those of you that don't know me. Um, I have my PhD in adult professional and community education and a master's in counseling. I am a licensed counselor in Texas. And then my experience in the workforce is in human resources, professional development, behavioral health. I currently work for a Fortune 500 company and work in the behavioral health department. And sorry, I have to move these little windows that you guys can't see so I can see the PowerPoint. So today I will be talking about what a vision board is and why do they work, um, how to make one, and then we'll go into the activities for it. As put these down. Okay. So what is a vision board? It is exactly what it sounds like, right? We've all seen them, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a bunch of pictures and they work because that's how our mind thinks. If you close your eyes right now and you think about a red car, what do you see? Do you see the words red car or do you envision an actual red car? And it might be a little car or a small car. It might even be a truck. Even though I said a car, your mind might think a truck, right? And that is why a vision board works, because our mind speaks in images and our higher self speaks in images. And if you didn't know that you were signing up for learning a little bit about connecting with your higher self, now you do. But I'm sure with the title Manifest Your Vision, you probably had a little idea that that would come up. Really connecting with your higher self, soul, or God, if that's your preference as a word for higher self. And so you connect with your higher self with a vision board because it's giving the images that you want to see, the images you want to bring to life. And if I didn't mention before, if you have any questions or anything pops up, feel free to just put it in the chat and I will get to it. All right. And Claudia is in San Francisco. And so this is a really neat quote that I really, really liked. Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then in reality. Everything was created twice. If you think about it, everything possible, the desk in front of you, the phone in front of you, it was someone's idea before it became a reality. And that's why when we put our images out there, we put them together, we create them. If the image that you want isn't there and you can easily create it, find a picture of it, and cut and paste as needed, then there you go. You have now created it in picture form, and then it'll be created again later. into actual form. So another thing to know about is what type of vision board do you want? Right? What type of vision board will work for you? So I did get the question about a digital vision board, and that will work for any of these. You can make any of these here into a digital version of it. There's just, and this is for all of them, there's just something that you need to do in addition. I'll go more into detail on how to actually make the vision board become more. So the first one is the I know exactly what I want type of vision board, the opening and allowing vision board, the theme vision board, and a vision journal. So I know exactly what I want type vision board. So you have a clear idea of what it is that you want. You want to have a career in working with animals. So then, that's really, really clear. Or another one is you want to be making 200,000 a year. Those are clear, specific ideas. And this might work for those that really know exactly what they want for the rest of the year. This may not work for those that you're not really sure or you don't believe in them. Like if I just said you want to make 200,000 a year and your first thoughts were that's not for me. That's not possible. There's no way I can do that. This type of specific vision board is not for you because your thoughts have already limited that it's not possible for you. And so this is why the next example is probably more for you. So if you have a lot of limiting beliefs on what it is that you want to manifest, that will work against what it is that you are looking for. If you put a bunch of things on there and you don't believe that they can be yours, then they won't be yours. And I'll go more into that, into the intentions of it. Now, this is the opening and allowing vision board. So you don't know exactly what you want. You've been in a period of depression or grief. You have a vision of what you want, but you're not certain about it in some way. And like I said, you have some limiting beliefs. This here is just going to be a lot more images, less specific. It's going to be more on how you want to feel, right? So you're going to look for images that make you feel, when you look at them, they feel like you want to be. Where the other one, it's going to be pictures of exactly what you want, right? You want an Audi. You want a small little cottage somewhere, right? And it doesn't have to be physical objects. It can be just feeling of freedom. So that's the difference between the two boards, but this is really good for those who have a lot of negative self-talk working against what they want. And then there's the theme vision board. This is a little bit more fun. This is like if you have something you want to focus on, and I'll show you guys some examples. So you can have a travel vision board. You can have a a birthday party theme. Anything that you want to just specifically create a vision board for. And time doesn't really matter. You can do it 30 days ahead. You can do it a year ahead. It really just depends on you and how much you want to do in regards to a theme vision board. I don't know why I keep saying them. But yeah, so that one's pretty self-explanatory, not too much to go there. And then another option for those that maybe want to do more, or maybe have a lot of little goals they want to do, so you can kind of combine all the other types of vision boards into a vision journal. So it's the same concepts, you're putting them, but it's smaller. And then you can also journal about it. Journal your feelings more about, okay, you see these images, and then the more you see something, the more you speak to your mind, your higher self, God, you then align yourself better, right? So now you might be thinking, well, which one, which one should I start off with? You might be feeling a little overwhelmed with all the different options. I would pick one. The vision journal is definitely something that can be a lot for a new person for your first vision board. So I would say keep this as a tool for later, unless you don't want to make a big giant one and you kind of just want a little small vision board and then do some journaling. I think most of you did sign up for the bullet journaling, so we can, talk about that and how you can incorporate it into your bullet journaling when during next week's workshop on that. Any questions about the vision journal? I think I see a question coming.
Can you repeat the name of the types?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. We can go back up to the top there. So I know exactly what I want vision board, the opening and allowing, the theme vision board, and a vision journal. And earlier in the beginning, I was asked if this works for digital ones, and I mean, yes, because it would still work. And you can still do a digital version vision journal. And everyone should have received I'm going to stop screen sharing for a second. I did send a guide along in the email. It was a link to click. I'm going to go into and go grab that. So if you want to go take a little break, I know we haven't been on very long, but I don't know, sometimes I have to go. So while I get this link, you guys can take a small break. That way you guys don't feel like you have to make notes of everything. It has space for there, and then you don't have to be trying to copy down the slides. I will also be putting the slides and sharing them with you. All right. Good. Great. There we go. Any other questions before moving to the how to make a vision board? And this is going to be an overview of how to make it, and then we'll actually go into activities to help you make it. So it'll be like a lot of learning, and then towards the end, activities. And then we also have Yvonne on, and she will be talking about the bonus services that she has for you guys. I always say it wrong. Yvonne, if you want to just hop in and say the what it is, because I always say it wrong. It's Reiki, Reiki, I don't know. I give up.
Hi everyone. Yes, it's Reiki. So it's universal life force energy, and so and it's actually really good that it's being added to this, because this energy can be sent to anyone, even your children or pets, and even things that you want to do. So you can even have Reiki sent to your vision board. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So thanks for the collab. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'll be
Yes,
sending
thank
everybody
you.
an email to set up your 15-minute free session with me. And it's distance, and it'll be at night, so you can just relax and chill or go to sleep. And the energy will be sent to you and it goes where it needs to go. So I'll send you more information later.
Great. Thank you. And if you guys have any questions about it, I already forgot how to say it. You can put it in the chat too. Okay. All right. So This is just a quick overview. I'm going to go into details of it, but this is for you guys later. I also included in the guide a list of how to make a vision board, how to prepare yourself. This way you can actually make your vision board come to life. When you're making the vision board, you need to think about what areas of your life you want to focus on. And so here you can see in the picture, there's a lot of different areas of your life. When starting, it is best to either pick 1 to 3 options of the areas you want to focus on. And if you look, they kind of are all intertwined anyway, right? So if you work on your health and fitness, it'll probably also help with love and romance, or your relationships with your friends and your family, and then of course your own personal spiritual growth. When looking at this image, think about what areas pop out to you. Which ones do you immediately think, oh, that's what I want to work on this year? And just jot them down, because those are the areas that are asking for your attention, right? If you are finding like, wow, all of these are important, they all are important, but we can't focus our attention on all of them all the time. So it's really important to maybe then, if you're not able to focus on one area, which areas of your life do you want to bring the most joy, and which are calling to you? So the next step after, and we'll do some goal setting in a bit, but next would be selecting images. So you want to schedule a time. You can do it, during this workshop or after. Select a time to go through magazines. You cut out the pictures that represent your goals, that speak to your heart in some meaningful way. Anything that immediately excites you when you're looking at an image. You can do it, again, with actual physical magazines, or you can do it, digitally as well. Play some music. Play music that you enjoy, especially music that is in alignment with the feelings and emotions you want to feel. If you want to, feel excited and get pumped up, I'm not going to guess what kind of music does that for you, because I listen to music that people probably don't think I listen to. I personally listen to a lot of rap, so that'll pump me up, but it might not pump you up. And then, if you see an image that immediately calls to you and has a lot of positive energy for yourself, definitely, take that image out. If it doesn't go in your vision board, put it somewhere, because that image is calling to you for a reason. Well, everything that comes to your life is for a reason. Sometimes to build us up, and sometimes to challenge us to continue growing and building us up. So again, expanding more on what I had just said, right? How do you want to feel? So part of manifesting your vision is acknowledging how do you want to feel. And another way to continue to encourage that, to kind of overcome any limiting beliefs you have in regards to the options, the things you want in your life, is by adding affirmation words, right? Words that represent how you want to feel and the energy you want to bring to your board. Something you don't want to do, and I will show you guys, is you don't want to have too many words in your vision board. I saw one yesterday that actually had almost exclusively all words, which is fine, depending on what you want to do. I'll show you guys a vision board that I did myself, and I had a lot of words. And I think what that ended up doing for myself was I did see those same words in some of the things that I was reading, which was funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just read this quote. It's funny, I wrote it down. But, like I said, our mind speaks in images, and if I'm putting down words, then I'm going to see words. So it would work, to put, I make 100,000. I made 100,000 this year, right? But when you start just putting nothing but words, it kind of just takes away from manifesting the actual visions that you want to see. Then something else that a lot of people probably don't realize that you need to do is you need to put your vision board somewhere you can see it. Somewhere that you can see it, and then somewhere that you can review it. So you can remember what your goals are, right? So you have to look at it every day. I personally have a couple of different vision boards. I have some on my wall right here, and then I do have a vision journal. I do have to say that the vision journal I don't look as often because it's not incorporated into my bullet journal at this time. And that is why, I said if you do that, it's better to incorporate into something that you do see daily. If you don't have it somewhere where you see it, make it a point, if not daily, like at least weekly, to go look at your vision board, review it and see, especially as time goes on, right? So today, you might have a lot of excitement about doing this, but then about, weeks, months pass by, and you might even have forgotten what you put in there. But by going back and looking at it, you can ask yourself, am I doing the things? Am I in alignment in what I want? So it's really good. It's in regards to like helping you with goal setting and helping with your intentions, because then you can see like, well, what have I done lately to work towards this? And don't feel bad. Remember, if you find yourself totally out of alignment, totally not doing what it was that you wanted to do, you can always come back to it. We're always exactly where we need to be. So I'm going to give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes to take a little break. You can, or let me do you guys want to take a break right now or take a break after I do the vision board examples? I have two votes. I can't set up
One
a poll
says
right now.
after, and two of them say now.
Now is good. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and it'll be 5 minutes, and then we can take another break, so don't worry. So everyone can come back. I'll say a 10-minute break, so that would be 11, we'll say 11:40. on mute. Okay, I got two. And then just let me know if you are back. That way I know that we're all ready to go. You can give me a thumbs up, high five. I don't know what the options are. I think it's clapping, thumbs up, and a heart. Looks like we might be missing one person. Oh, she's on. All right, great. We'll keep going. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my examples of my own vision boards, my first ones, and I'll go into a little bit more on there of the different things that I've done with them. So my first one from 2016, if I can make this change pages, what is it doing? It's being difficult, of course. There we go. Okay, so this here is my first vision board. I made it in 2016, and here you can see, right, so my 10 years from 2016 would be 2026. So I had a bunch of, let me see if I could make it a little bit bigger. And I made this on a PowerPoint. Had no idea, like I said, I had the other student that I'd seen her vision board and I just kind of wanted to do something. And then I looked up words and then just put random things in there. I had no idea what I was doing. There was a 5-year house goal, a random 10-year goal. I really had no idea what I was doing, right? The one thing that came really, I mean, if I made this in 2016, my goal was to become a supervisor in 3 years, and I actually did that like the following year. So that was one of the big, like, the thing, like, oh my God, this really works, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I just put it on there. But as you can see, like when you look at these images, or just in general, does it really bring any feelings? I mean, you might think things, but it may not bring any actual feelings to it. And when you're making your vision board, you want to make sure that it brings joy to you. You look at it and it makes you smile, it makes you connect with that other part of you that you know that you want and exist out there. So this is fast forward to the future. So June 2019, I still really was kind of like, well, I don't really know, right? All these like random quotes that I selected, I'm looking at the one on the right over here. And I find it funny still that I really found these quotes in a lot of the books that I was reading, right? So that's just my personal experience with it. When you just have a bunch of words, you're just going to get a bunch of words back, right? And now if you look over here on the left, you can see that I had, I'm going to get a little, you can see here, I had the house, right? That same house that I had in my, go back up, if I can make this, sorry, this. So if you look here, down here, it's the same pictures that I put back in 2016. And I printed them out this time. I printed them out and then, and I don't believe that it was because I printed them out. So don't feel like you have to print them out. The difference was the just for us because we're worth it, right? When I probably put that in the past, I probably didn't think that I could achieve it then, right? But this year, 2020, or now we're in 2021, but in 2020, I not just put the pictures there, but I put something else on top of it. I said, because we're worth it, right? Me and my family are worth this house, and it's somewhere I could see it daily. When 2020 started, I really didn't have the intention of moving and getting a new house. Like that was not on our minds, especially because my husband's still finishing school, and we weren't in a financial situation where we had been saving or anything like that. Randomly in May, I saw a house that I was like, oh, do you want to see this house? And my husband's always like, he goes along with a lot of the things that I ask him, but he's not really big on it. And so he was like, well, yes, we can go by and look at this house, not this house that we're in, but this other house. And he's like, but I actually want to go in it. And I was like, well, I really didn't. I mean, to go look at a house, you kind of have to be working with the realtor. Fortunately, I happened to know a realtor and he let us go look at the house. My husband's like, I want the house. And I was like, what? Well, we got to go and through this whole process. We can't just go and be like, I want the house. And that day we went and applied for a loan, and I was super surprised that we could not just afford that house, but the price amount that we could afford. And that's how that ball went rolling. And so from the end of May, we sold our house in the middle of June, during the middle of COVID. That was, it wasn't as bad. I feel like we got to see houses better with less crowds. My house sold in a day, which was amazing too, because I was really nervous on how and if my house would sell. And so it sold. Everything happened so fast. We moved in July 2nd, so it's like in 30 days or something. It happened so fast that I was like, oh my gosh, is somebody just going to kick me out of this house? And so all that to really just put on there, you know, when you put that extra something, that extra emotion behind it, it really manifests a lot faster versus the Audi. Now, I have every once in a while looked at Audis, and the prices have been incredible. So if you're in the market for an Audi, I will tell you, they're like, well, at least here in Texas, they're like 38,000, which is an amazing price because I don't think that's what they normally are. But I haven't jumped the bullet on it yet. And I think a lot of it too goes here. Like you could see, I've been saying yes, please, right? So yes, please is kind of like it's not very I'm worth it kind of feeling. It's not very much of I believe in this goal, right? So in Driftwood. So, and I'll talk about Driftwood since Amber mentioned it. And so you are putting these words on here. Make sure that they're empowering you when you are putting words, that they're empowering you, they make you feel a certain way, they make you overcome those limiting beliefs, right? That just for us, because we're worth it, I think really sunk in. And it came down to me letting go of a lot of things, me letting go of the fact that I was no longer going to live on the south side of San Antonio, which is predominantly Hispanic, which is predominantly lower class, and being willing to get out of that comfort zone because my kids are worth it, because I am worth it, because by staying there, it means that I'm limiting not just myself, but my kids and all of us, right? Because there's a whole different type of mindset there. There's a whole, they say that you are the 5 people around you, right? So if you go and look at your neighbors, do you really want to be like the 5 neighbors around you? I mean, you might love your neighbors, so the answer might be yes. But in that situation for myself, no, I don't want to be like the 5 neighbors around me. And so that was really one of the biggest things that happened in my own transformation. And I like my little quote here, see, break out of timid habits. All right, and so I will talk about Driftwood. So last year, I went through a 21-day challenge with Gabby Bernstein that she has, which yesterday was the first day of this year's, but I did it last year. And one of the things she talked about was that when things are coming down a river, you start seeing driftwood. And so one of the things that, so as little parts of a storm coming by, you see little pieces of driftwood and you know something else is coming along, right? So that's your kind of like your I don't know what word to look for, but kind of like a sign that what you are wanting, what you are thinking about is coming to you, right? And so that is coming to you, and you should see it as a sign that it is for you versus, oh, I see it everywhere, and starting those feelings of jealousy. Now, if you do start having those feelings of jealousy as they happen, identify the trigger. What is it and why is it that you are feeling these negative emotions and process those? A lot of times we have to process those before we get what we want, before we really can able to embody the person that we want to be, or with it overcome those. Let me keep going. So this is my vision board that I see, vision boards, I should say, that I see every day. They're over here on my left. And here you can kind of see they're a little more open. They're not very specific, but on the bottom, it's like myself. And the reason that I ended up coming up with multiples is because I went into the magazine and I really didn't have an idea of a board that I wanted to make. I just kind of started taking pictures of things that I saw that I liked. And then I found myself with a lot of images and feeling like, oh gosh, how am I going to fit this into one board? And so then I split it into two different themes, right? Kind of more of my life theme, and then more of my own self and my own spiritual growth. And so something I want to point out that you guys can't necessarily see, but here on the pictures where the roses are, I had a quote there that said, I can do it all, or I'm doing it all. And one day I looked at that and I thought to myself, well, I don't want to do it all. I want to have it all, but I don't want to do it all, because that's a lot of work, right? And a lot of time, now I'm like, well, I don't want to have that on my board. And so I crumbled that up and threw it out. And so I say that because, if there's something on your board that no longer serves you, or you realize that's really not something you want, feel free to take it off and either replace it with another quote, or just leave it without a quote. Let me see if I can share what it says. The quote note says, they say you can have everything, just not all at once. I think it's really true. There are times when you're living for your career and times when you get to make cakes. That's what this quote here says. More of what, I believe, more in alignment. And so, let me see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So I want you guys to look and see this one thing here. I'm trying to get a little drawing. What? That's not what I wanted to do. Clear drawings. I'm learning how to use these tools that aren't working for me. But if you look here, is where I'm trying to get your eyes to look at, where it says I'm spiritually awake. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I guess you can't see it, but the view outside my window is just like that. And I didn't notice that until after we had moved in, until after I repainted, and I was looking out the window, and it was like, whoa, my vision board here has come to life in another sense. And it's funny because this is my office, and the window, you can see the tree out there, and it's like a very, very similar view. And so, and then here on the left is what I like to call more of a living vision board. I put affirmations there, cards. Here I put a bunch of pictures. So I came across in a magazine where it was a bunch of spaces from Zoom. And I was like, well, I'm going to put that there because that's what I want. I want to have a lot of workshops where I can help a lot of women. And so I have that there, and just a bunch of other little things that have come across that I like. And so I will keep going. And so here is what a vision journal could look like. I didn't do any journaling on these, but you can kind of see this is inside of my bullet journal, and each of them has its own little themes. Any questions there before I start moving forward? Yeah, I'm going to take that as no questions. All right. I'm going to go down and talk to you guys about when to make your vision board. It's really, really important that when you make your vision board, that you yourself are at a good place. You yourself are feeling good and excited for your future. If you find yourself that you're not feeling good at the moment, then I would recommend, either doing a meditation, listening to some music that can bring your energy up, because everything that you do, whatever energy you have going on within you, is going to be put out there. And this goes for anything. You have a job interview, if your energy is low, then that's the energy that's going to be reflected out when you have the interview. Or if you're out shopping and you're looking for a home, a car, same thing. Or if you're looking for love, if you're looking for a partner, that's the energy that you're putting out there, the energy of this is not for me, the energy that that person may not like me because of X, Y, Z. You're putting that energy out there, even if you're smiling and you're looking good. Everything, but you may not be able to see it, but people can feel it. And so then that's one thing. So if your energy low, it does really, really matter. So do a meditation, do something to hype yourself up, or save it for a different day. If you are constantly having days that your energy is low, then I would say schedule it and prep it on a day that, may be a better day. And then I'm going to go into other ways to find high energy days for yourself if you're struggling with that. Another thing to do is you can make a vision board when around the moon, and doing that is during the waxing phase of the moon. So it's after new moon, 2 weeks. Right now we're at a waning phase. The full moon was about 2 days ago, I think. And so right now would not be the most ideal time to make a vision board. But if your energy is very, very high right now and you're like, oh my gosh, but I just want to do it, then that's okay. But if you are not feeling great this week or next week, I definitely would recommend waiting to the new moon. And there's also sun sign days that you can look at. And if you want to know your sun sign day, you can wait at the end of the workshop and I can look it up and let you know what would be some good days for you to make your vision board if you're not going to make it today. Any questions on the timing and if it really matters?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Does the time of day matter?
No, the time of day doesn't matter. Well, no and yes. It matters if you're like going really deep into it in regards to the planets and all of that. Mm-hmm. But if your energy is feeling good and you yourself are ready and excited, then yes. But it really just comes down to like yourself and your energy. Does that help?
Yes.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question, Norma.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're in a relationship, how do you collaborate with your partner to be in alignment? Like, is that maybe a different vision board that you do together, or do you just make sure that his vision board is in alignment with yours?
Yes. Yeah. So vision boards are very much, I mean, yes, you can do one together. And then you don't necessarily have to be in alignment with each other for your visions to come to life. Because remember, it's what you want in your life, and it may look different to your partner. Now, I do have to say, when you converge energies, like for example, my husband was in alignment with going and looking at a house, and then everything just happened quickly. And it wasn't just his energy, but my daughter's energy, because she was a freshman. She was ending her freshman year of high school. And, I asked her, and she knew, like, I asked her, I said, are you willing and ready to make this move, knowing that it's in the middle of your high school career? And that was one of the biggest things. Like, we were always saying we were going to move after she finished high school. But after we all let it go, she let go of that, I let go of that, my husband was ready, like it happened so quickly. So that's one of the good things about energies converging together for a vision that you might have. You may also find that if your partner is not in alignment with what you envision, it can slow what is actually happening. So let's say, for example, your vision is to go to, I don't know, Acapulco, right? You want to go to the beach, and your partner wants to go to the Rocky Mountains. So, those are two different things. And it's like, well, how do we get into alignment, right? How do we both get what we want? And that can be a compromise. You can decide, well, we can do 2 trips, or if 2 trips are not in the budget, then something in between. But it's kind of like that, right? If you guys want 2 different extremes, you might be pulling up all these low price tickets to Acapulco, $99, let's go. And he's like, well, I don't want to go. Or they'll come up with reasons, or their energy will be like, well, I'm sorry, I have like all these other business meetings, I can't go during that time. So that's usually what will happen when there's 2 different perspectives and energies going on. We will manifest blocks, even our own blocks, when we're not really sure of something that we want. Any other questions? Really good questions, guys. Some good questions to think about.
I have a question. Well, it's more like I want to get your insight. Have you ever done a vision board with children, with small children?
Small children, like
Like
under, like a 5-year-old. My son is actually 5. I have not done a vision board with him, but I will say that you can do manifestations with children, and they're actually a whole lot better at it than we are.
Yeah, so
I don't think they need like the actual vision board. I think what I would personally recommend is maybe just some time with them to explore their thoughts, and maybe more of a meditation if your child is able to. I know my son will sit and talk and think. I think depending on your child too. If your child is advanced but my son, he's not very big on like that would be too much on him, and then that would put a negative energy on things, right? But we have sat down, and he loves talking all kinds of manifestation stuff. I'll tell you actually an activity that I randomly did with him, and it was amazing. So I don't know how, but he, on one of his shows, they talked about meditating. And so he sat down and was sitting at the end of the bed. It was in the evening. And he's like, I'm meditating. I was like, oh, you're meditating. And then I was like, well, how about we start going and looking for treasure? And so he was like, okay, open that drawer. There's treasure in there for you. And so I opened the drawer, and there was actually stuff in there. And he's like, no, it's not that. It's invisible treasure. And so I'm like, well, what is it? And so he would tell me. So we'd go to the different rooms, and he would tell me what invisible treasure was there. So the next morning, which I was absolutely certain that all my dark chocolate was gone, the next morning we magically found dark chocolate in one of the island drawers, and whatever other candy it was that he had, invisible treasure we found the night before. So you could do something like that, invisible treasure, and that might work a little better if sitting down and doing picture cutting. They'll talk. They'll talk. That's really, really fun. Any other questions, or it could be a little out of what we're talking about? I'm willing to talk about anything before we move to the more activities. How about any concerns you have, or about any blocks that you may have, or limiting beliefs, or how to overcome them?
I definitely liked what you had mentioned earlier about those negative thoughts with one of the vision boards. Um, I'm not saying that I'm a negative person. I try to be positive, but I know a lot of the times it's like you said, that you kind of like tell yourself, okay, well, I'm not worth having that. I know that we've had personal talks about different areas of my life, and I'm like, okay, you're ready to make that step, but are you really ready? And so that's where those negative things come in. But I think that I did write it down. I wrote down the things that I wanted to put on my vision board. And that was one of the things that I was really scared to actually like look for a picture, like look for like that clip art, or look for that image that I wanted. And I'm like, why am I so scared of that? And I think it's like it's that a possibility of you're trying to manifest this into your life. You're trying to, you know, in a way, like for me, it's like, okay, God, prepare me to be that ideal wife for someone. And then I go on to thinking, am I really going to be a good wife to someone? How can I be like, I'm kind of selfish. I'm kind of like, to myself. And I think all these things negatively about myself. And it's like, okay, but are you all these things? And so that's really helpful for me to be like, okay, if I do want it on my vision board, then I have to put it on there, but I have to make sure that it's like, it's really something that I really want. So thank you for clarifying that. I'm like, okay, let's not try to put out negative things, especially for yourself. So that was
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, definitely. If there's something that you're having any type of doubts, I would definitely wait to put it on your vision board. You can put it there. I mean, it's just not going to come. It's not going to happen. In ways to kind of overcome those parts, those things that, I mean, because everyone does have their own self-doubt, and then there's a difference between small self-doubts and big self-doubts, right? Like when it comes to your self-worth and believing that you're worth something is one type of self-doubt. And then the other self-doubt of like, oh my gosh, am I going to do well in this presentation? Those are small, right? Those are little things. When it comes to self-worth, try journaling and exploring that. What makes me feel that I'm not worth it, right? And then you kind of got to dig deep in there. Um, and that may lead to having to talk to someone like a therapist, or it may just lead to a lot more journaling, meditating, or seeing someone like Yvonne to help you release those emotional blocks. It really just depends, but recognizing those limiting beliefs, those triggers are super important to be able to move forward, right? Like I mentioned, in getting the house, we all had to be in alignment and be ready to move forward, right? Because, I'm not just me, I'm also my husband and the kids. But once we were all in agreement and alignment and we explored those beliefs, then I don't know, things just happen pretty instantaneously. All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and start some of the activities to help you figure out what you want to list in your goals. So if you haven't put anything down for the goals that you want, remember those different areas of your life that you want to work on. I can review the major areas, right? So physical environment, that can include your house, how you want your house to look, You want it to be more organized, or you want to be, have a certain look to your house. You want it to be more bohemian. I know I do, but then I don't. And then your finance and wealth, friends and family, health and fitness, personal and spiritual growth, career, love, and romance. So pick from those, the ones that jump out to you. And then we're going to do an activity. If you're not really sure what it is that you want, you do the flip side of it. What is it that you don't want? What is it for the next 12 months if you absolutely did nothing, right? What would that look like, and what would you not want to happen? Take a few minutes just to jot something down. What are some things you would not want? This really when it's just feeling stuck, or even if you're not stuck, what are some things that you don't want? It's January 2022. That'd be weird to say. What would you not want to be the same? What would you want to be different? So, for example, if you don't like working long hours, or you want a flexible work schedule, those are some things that you can write about. If you want a short commute to work, hopefully most of you guys are able to work from home during this time, but maybe in 2022 you do want to be in the office. So something to think about there. How many days a week do you want to be able to work out? What kind of healthy habits are you looking? Do you want clients or colleagues who are like-minded, family and friends that are supportive? It's your list, so you can make it as long as you want, whatever you envision. But if nothing shows up right away, then just start thinking of the opposite, right? That's just, and then now when you're looking at this list, next thing is feelings, right? How will these things make you feel? And if you're looking at a list of things you don't want, right, what would be the opposite feeling to that? Right? If you don't want to feel down and negative or unworthy, what would the opposite side of that look like? And something to also do while you're working on this is also think of affirmations on the positive, right? So I did include a list of affirmations for you guys to help you when creating your vision boards. And the first one, of course, I acknowledge my own self-worth and my confidence is rising. And it's really, really important that you start saying these affirmations so that you can rebuild that power. A lot of times what happens is that we have heard, we have been told things throughout our life, and that is what is causing you to feel the way you do. The negative feelings, the you may have been told that you're selfish, and so that's why you feel like, well, would I be good at this because I'm a selfish person, right? And the opposite of being selfish is knowing what you want and what you don't want. Having preferences. There's nothing wrong with having a preference. There's nothing wrong with wanting things to be a certain way. And what that means is you just find a partner who's flexible, who doesn't care, who's open to trying things and is willing to allow you to do things the way you want. Don't find a partner who is controlling and wants it their way. Be like, I already have it. I got that part covered. I'm the controlling one. And see what, oh, that's that slide. So the be, do, have method, right? So that's the method that you want to use when working on your vision board. Is a lot of times we want things, right? We want to have all of these things. But before we can have these things that we want in our life, maybe they're not things, maybe it's people, maybe it's just a feeling. we have to be, right? So now, if you guys can just take a moment to close your eyes and think about one of the things you've listed that you want. And what would you, what feeling would you have if you had that one thing? What would be different about you? How would you be? Now, take whatever came to mind and just jot that down. What would it be like? Or who would you be? Okay, and then next after that is, what would you have to do? What would that future you who has all the things and this one thing, what would they have done to get there? How would they have to show up? What would they have to be willing to let go of? What would be different about you? And now, what images or feelings came to mind? Since our subconscious mind, our higher self, thinks in images, what images came to mind? What images represent how you were being, what you were doing to have what you want? So that is the last activity for this portion. Actually, I just remembered one of my other favorite activities. It is, and I did forgot to include it into the handout in the PowerPoint, but it is 5 wishes. And grabbing my bullet journal. So I read this book. It's called 5 Wishes. I don't remember who wrote it, but I'll email it to you guys. So, and it's a really quick read. I think it's like 100 pages. And so the book, it's pretty much what I'm going to tell you, but y'all can read it anyway. In the book, it's he wrote it and he talked about meeting this man who, by the way, he would go to these events and he hated small talk. And so he ran into a gentleman and the gentleman asked him, I just saw your message. Cinco deseos. Yes. So maybe Amber, you already ahead of the game on this one. So this gentleman goes to a party and he runs into another man, and man asked him, would you like to talk in small talk or big talk? And he's like, big talk, because he talks about he doesn't want to do small talk. And so prepare yourself, guys, because this is big talk. But if you died today, if you died today, what would be your 5 biggest regrets? No. Take that time right now to just write down what would be your 5 biggest regrets. I'll give you about 5 minutes to do that. How's everyone coming along? You can put in the chat if you've been able to come up with 5 or however many you've been able to come up with. Okay, so the next step that you would do, right, because you're looking at 5 things, more or less, that you would regret if was true, if you were to die today, right? And now you're going to write what would be the opposite of those 5 things. What would you do in order to be the opposite of that? And that can be taken to be your life statement. So I'm going to share mine that I did. I was looking for what I wrote, but I couldn't find the what would I regret. But I'll read the parts of how it'd be different. And it's like my new life statement. So my life is a total success. So you're going to write that, right? So my life is a total success. That would be the first part of your statement. My life is a total success because I'm open, thoughtful, caring, and understanding of others and their choices. My life is a total success because I pursue all of my passions without fears. My life is a total success because my relationships and marriage are full of love, laugh, and authenticity. My life is a total success because I traveled the world, all over the world, and saw all its beauty. My life is a total success because I always follow my intuition to guide me when the time is right for each of my passions, wishes, dreams, and hopes. And I always trust my inner guidance at all times. So, whatever it is that you wrote, right, your five biggest regrets, if you were to pass away, that's how you would transform them over. My life is a total success because, and then opposite of what your regret would be and what you would do differently so that your life could be a total success. How's everyone doing? Okay, I guess the thumbs up mean you're good, you're ready to move forward. I see people writing, so that's exciting to see. Um, so this that's it. That's all I have in regards to activities. But this time is for you guys. You can ask me more questions about vision board making. Yvonne can also share about. I know you put it on the chat on how to say it, but Reiki. Did I say it right that time? Reiki. Yeah, she can tell us a little more about that, and then you all can ask her questions as well. Yvonne, you can go ahead. I think everyone's still processing.
I also typed in my website, and within the website, I have a tab called Reiki. So it has all the frequently asked questions in case you can't think of anything right now. And then later on today, you're like, oh, wait, what is, this? Or can you tell me again? Then, yeah, you can just hop onto the website, and there's just so much really good information. And there's also been a lot of research using energy work in hospitals and with cancer patients, helping them to relieve pain and help speed up the recovery process. It also works well with any medications or treatment. It's actually like helps really speed up healing. It's healing energy, and it helps with like sleeping, anxiety, depression. Mm, I mean, anything really. I mean, the only side effect is like you feel so much better. And right now is a good time to do Reiki, especially at the beginning of the year, because you're releasing energy, blockages, stuff that no longer serves you. And I mean, have you ever thought about like, oh, sometimes I have like this, you know, pain or something, like my knee hurts, or I have this feeling in my elbow, or stuff like that, is because we store emotions in our body, in our muscles, and we don't know how to release them. And so Reiki helps to release that energy that no longer serves you, that is stuck, that is stagnant, um, that doesn't belong to you. Sometimes we take in other people's energies and we don't know how to release them, and it affects you, and you're like, man, I was feeling so good. And then after a while, after being around certain people or situations or hearing certain things, like that energy like stays with you. And so it helps to let go of those energies. And then right now, since you're working on your vision board, it's like, yeah, you want to like clear out all that stuff that you want to let go, have like clear mind, right? To put those ideas, those goals into effect. And so, yeah, thank you for adding the link, Norma. To if you go to that link, you can fill out that form, and then I will send you a link to schedule when you want to do your Reiki session. And it's at night. It's always in the evening, so that way you're already relaxed. I'm in California, so it's Pacific Standard Time, and so for me it would be after 9 o'clock, because by then I can just go into meditation, do my thing, and then I'll focus on you. And yeah, and you just tell me like something that you want energy specifically, like to heal certain issue, or just help you overall, or just clear energies, whatever it is. If you have something specific, you can just write it in, and then yeah, that's it. I mean, it's really simple. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to log on to anything. You don't have to get all dolled up, nothing. You just go to sleep or chill or take a nap or whatever. um, and that's it. Really simple, really easy, but so many awesome benefits to doing Reiki.
Mhm. Any questions on it, guys? Yvonne, the only question I can think of is what what training or experience did you go through to become a level 2 Reiki, right, practitioner?
Yeah, so I went through, through it's called the Healing Arts School, and so it's my teacher is Vanessa Codorniu. She's from Argentina, and she's like a fourth generation medium, energy healer, like just so much like ancestral healing knowledge, like fourth generation, probably even more, right? Stuff that she doesn't even know. And so I just, I do have Espanol. I am bilingual, and I'm actually from Texas, born and raised, but now I'm in I'm in California. And but yeah, I try to put a lot of my stuff in English and Spanish on my Instagram. It's called Decide Balance. Everything is Decide Balance. My Facebook, my Instagram, my website. And I started my YouTube channel as well. I do have a podcast called Decide Balance as well, and it's a 5-minute bilingual English and Spanish meditation. So, and the intention behind that was I wanted to make it easy for people not to have an excuse to meditate, because we all need to take a pause to help us get through the day, through everything. And it just really helps because we're so used to zoom, 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 and we don't stop. And if we don't stop to like acknowledge ourselves, take time for ourselves, then it's kind of hard to move forward and be be present, be better, be, do things that we want to do, right? So it's important to take that pause meditation. And but anyway, so yeah, I'm a level 2 Reiki certified practitioner. There's 3 levels. And so level 2 is where level 1 is just for personal, just for you and just like your kids that you can do energy work on. Level 2 is you can actually do distance Reiki sessions. So I can send Reiki to anyone, anywhere in the world, which is pretty cool. I mean, it works out perfect right now during this crazy time that everything is distance. So everything just kind of aligned perfectly for me. And because I was open, and actually that was on my vision board that I wanted to do energy work because it's something that I've been wanting to do for years and trying to find a teacher, and I just couldn't find anybody that I was aligned with. And you mentioned alignment, and alignment is definitely something you need to tap into your intuition, listen to yourself. Like, does that really align with me? Is that really what I want? So, and I finally, I saw her in this group that Norma and I met through We All Grow Latina. Such an amazing group. If you haven't heard of it, just search Instagram We All Grow Latina. Such an amazing group. And yeah, I just heard about her. She did a webinar on intuition, and it was amazing. And I just heard her story, stalked her, and I'm like, who is this? I need to learn more. And oh my gosh, habla español. And she throws in Spanish words here and there. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then hearing her story and everything, I'm like, yes, that's who it is. And then she had this Reiki session happening in May. And so I did level 1 and then continued. I'm like, I need to continue. And I did level 2 as well. And so anyways, everything just started aligning, and I'm in the Chopra Center meditation certification program as well, and that also just kind of like I was open to it, I was ready to it, and things just started aligning for me. And it was definitely on my vision board. I wanted meditation and be, help my community and bring meditation, and that's why I did it bilingual, because I want to help my community, because meditation is not common within the Latino community, especially Spanish speaking. And I wanted to make sure that it was accessible. And that's why I made it into a podcast. So that way it's free and anybody can listen. And I've heard a lot of feedback saying that people that, cannot meditate because they think like, oh, I need to sit in silence in a certain pose. And you do, I mean, that's other meditations, right? Which is, anyways, a whole other type. But being able to listen to my translation actually helped to stop all the chitter chatter, and they were able to rest and relax. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So anyway, so many things have like happened because I was open. I aligned with what I wanted, what I put on my vision board. So wow, Norma, you were like spot on to everything that you were saying. So gals, everything that Norma said, follow it, do it. Yeah, so many amazing, I mean, it was crazy year, right? But so many beautiful things happened this year, and I'm just like blown away because I was aligned, and I had my goal and I had my vision board. And it's weird. I have it in my closet, but I mean, that's where I go every day. I don't really see it every day, but I have it in my mind. And then when I go back to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like all the things that are happening, and like just be able to go back to it. So I don't see it every day. But anyways,
Yeah.
I can go.
Yeah. But I mean, but as long as you see it often, as long as it's somewhere accessible at least once a week, it doesn't have to be daily.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys, on Reiki? I have to like think about how to say it. Or any other questions on manifesting your vision board? Any other concerns that you have in creating your vision board? I know I talked about, I can give you your sun sign information as well. Before I go into the sun sign or the moon sign stuff, I do want to tell you all that I am going to be doing and this is for anyone that's interested in like career growth and development. I'm going to be doing a workshop on that next month. And I'm going to have Ivy put the link in for me. But for you guys that are here with me now, I'm doing to do a special for you guys since the workshop is going to be $297. It'll be $200 off for you guys that are here if you're interested. It's a workshop on developing your 90-day career growth plan, and it's going to be called Manifest Your Career. Sticking with my manifest as my workshop titles. I like manifest. It attracts all the people that I like working with because I really believe that you have to be in alignment with your spiritual self to get the kind of growth that you're looking for. And if you're not, you can still have that growth. It's just not as quickly as it could be. And when we are able to let go a lot of our limiting beliefs. And a lot of people don't go into those things when offering workshops in regards to any type of professional development, right? So it's a good combination of both. But that's that on that. Done. Any questions on the vision board, on what or if you guys want to share your sun sign with me, and if you're not sure what your sun sign is, let me know when your birthday is, and I can tell you. But it's just your horoscope sign. For those of you that want to do it on a day that is optimal for you this month. Oh, I know yours because you're Sagittarius like me. So Karen, your days would be the 2nd today, the 7th, the 13th, and the 17th. And there's another book. The moon signs are also another one. So, I mean, there's so many options.
So those are the ideal dates that you would suggest to do the vision boards. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Today is a super day for us. Sorry, guys. I don't know all of y'all's super days. I just know the Sagittarius super days, but today would be a super day. Also, the 7th is a super day. I'm looking at the moon and the sun sign. She gets special Sagittarius treatment. Okay, next we have Aries. Let me go look. I always forget the orders. The order, not order. Order. So Aries is the first time? Interesting. Interesting, Liliana. So your rewarding days are the 1st, the 2nd, so today would also be a good day for you, the 9th, and the 13th. And for anybody else, it might be an Aries. Maria, 728, I believe that is Leo. I believe you are Leo. Yep. Yeah, they are Leo. So let's see. Yours would also be today. I guess today is like a good day. The 2nd, the 5th, the 13th, and the 22nd. Libra. Right, that's what I see next. Libra. So Libra tomorrow, the 3rd, the 4th, the 6th, and the 14th. The 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 14th for Libra. Taurus, they have 2 Taurus. Tauro, I always like saying it in Spanish. That's why like the only one that I like. Well, and Pisces. My dad's Pisces. My husband's a Tauro. So for you guys, the Tauruses is tomorrow, the 3rd, the 5th, the 13th, and the 22nd. And Aquarius is the last one that I see. Did I get everybody? Did everybody share? If you want, you don't have to. Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, your dates are the 4th, the 10th, the 14th, and the 25th. Aquarius, it also says to dream big in 2021. With Jupiter and Saturn in your early Aquarius as you start the year, whatever you want to accomplish is yours for the asking. Take inventory of your assets, qualifications, and desired salary for a new job. Start out by contacting your networks, letting leaders know of your interest and availability for a new assignment. Something told me to read that for her, guys. Sorry, don't be jealous. What about Capricorn and Gemini? Okay. Capricorn. I'll do Gemini the first month. And I'm looking at the sun sign book, guys, since you guys are wondering. Claudia, that was specific to yours. And I'm recording this, so I'm going to send this to you guys so y'all can re-listen to it. Gemini, the dates are the 6th, the 14th, the 15th, and the 24th. The 6th, 14th, 15th, and the 24th for Gemini. And Capricorn. Whenever I think of the signs in Spanish, I just hear Watson Mercado's voice. So Capricorn, it's the 4th, the 6th, the 12th, and the 19th. Let's see. Claudia, you asked about reading this again. The overall theme for January, it says dream big in 2021 with Jupiter and Saturn in early Aquarius. As you start the year, whatever you want to accomplish is yours for the asking. Take inventory of your assets, qualifications, and desired salary for a new job. Start out by contacting your networks, letting leaders know of your interests and availability for a new assignment. Your ruling planet, Uranus, goes direct on January 14th, giving you the go-ahead to move forward with your goals. Sounds exciting. Any other questions? So like someone else wants to ask me to read their January overall theme, go ahead. Let me know. You were a Leo. If anybody knows signs, you probably laugh because Leos demand attention, not in a negative way, Maria. It's a positive thing. See, you laugh because Leos know. We all revolve around the Leo sign. New Year resolutions could pay off beautifully if you take the lead in implementing your plans. The early days of the year could find you in love if you're single, or focus on surprising your significant other with future plans for sharing romantic time. You'll have to deal with a few hurdles at your workplace, although solutions are attainable if you take the time to consider more than one option. The new moon on January 13th in your solar sixth house of daily routines and colleagues gives you a chance to look at new approaches. Tauro. I haven't looked at it. January for the Tauro. A winter getaway drives your agenda this month, whether for a short or long distance trip. You may meet up with those who live in distant places and enjoy the reunion. With Uranus in your sign, this year represents change and you're determined to break out of a rut. Those of you contemplating relocation may be checking out opportunities for a move, a new job, or a sabbatical. Are you looking to move? No, maybe spiritually move. All right, everyone. Anyone have anything else? Any questions for me? Thank you, Maria. Thank you all for attending. I'm excited. If I would love to see your vision boards. So email me your vision boards if you're comfortable with that. I would just love to see them and see, and I will check in with you guys. If you email me your vision board, I will check in with you about halfway through the year to see how you're doing and encourage you, to keep going. All right. And I know that some people have issues receiving my emails sometimes from my business email. So if you weren't able to get the guide, let me know in the chat if you're having any email issues. I know one person does, so, but I think most of you have. And then for everyone that has got both workshops, I'll see you next Saturday. It'll be just as exciting or more fun. I think the bullet journaling. Well, they're both. They're my absolutely two favorites. I can't really pick. I lied. You'll love that one too. If you love this, you'll love that one more. All right. Well, thank you guys. Send me a message, email, DM on Instagram. That's my place to be. Bye.